Hello and welcome. It is time to talk about another film that is still relevant within our parks, but yet forgotten. Swiss Family Robinson. Swiss Family Robinson was released in 1960, and as we'll talk about in a little bit more, they have the attraction Still a Magic Kingdom in Walt Disney World. Well, we'll get there. We're gonna focus on the movie right now. Right from the beginning, a lot of these films back in the 50s and the 60s that Walt Disney was producing were based on books and stories back in the 1800s. Swiss Family Robinson is exactly the same. It was a book that was published in 1812 by Johann David Weiss. I am sorry if I butchered that. I can barely speak English myself, and we know that. I am very glad that I did take the time to sit down and watch this film because of the fact of how important it is within our parks. And overall, it is very cute. It has a really nice story where it's about a family that gets shipwrecked on an island and how they survive. And that is what the attraction is all about in the parks. You go on a walkthrough through their house, and that's it. They build this incredible tree house out of all the parts of the ship. Because they were traveling to New Guinea originally and had all the supplies to start a new life, this isn't a big deal to them. They're able to survive even though they hope to get rescued. They're like, this is fine, we have everything we need. I was so stressed the entire time with how these animals were treated. I was on high intensity stress level because of these poor animals that you are basically trotting them through the water, and there's sharks swimming around, and these poor horses and pigs are in danger, and they do save them, but there's still so much intensity of what's going to happen. I felt horrible for the animals. People didn't care about. They could get hit by pirates, whatever, not a big deal. It's the animals. Save the animals. It's like how they go into a horror movie and you're fine with people dying left and right, but you kill a dog and it's game over. It's the same intensity where no animals were harmed in the making of this film.
Let's do something! The knife! Get the knife!
Ernst! The knife! The knife!
I felt so on edge about what was going to happen to make sure they're okay. Even in one of the beginning scenes, they have dogs with them, Great Danes, and they jump off the ship, and there's so many, and they're like, oh, there's no time for them. I'm like, save the dogs! Save the dogs! This is so important. You cannot let those dogs drown in the water. You need to save them. They do, but still, that intensity is there. And it's moments like this with this adventure film where it's very similar. They end up being able to survive on this land, and they do a good job, and it's basically this inner family drama of dealing with them surviving as well as possibility of them getting off, and then having the new characters come in and having this love connection, etc. like that. So it's a very solid story. It's a really great film, but it was too intense for my liking for a family adventure film, and they needed to not hurt those animals. Like, there's another scene where they're riding the ostriches and the zebras.
Here is all the fun you've ever dreamed of in the most hilarious race that's ever been run.
Quick, motherfucker! Good boy, Lightning! Hey!
Even the monkey is riding the dog. Now, you know that these animals are trained, but if these are real life animals that you or family discovered and you just grab this monkey to be like, oh, let me like pet it, that monkey is gonna bite your head off. That is not gonna let you just hold him and just be like, yeah, hi new friend, welcome. That's not going to happen. These animals are gonna be scared and defending themselves. every animal they met was just like, oh hey, you're a new friend, cool, we're gonna live together, you want to ride on me? That's fine. That ostrich did not want to get ridden, and you could tell he was trying to kick you off. My thoughts on Swiss Family Robinson is it's a decent film, it's a really great watch, and I think it is important to see, especially with the retraction. However, it was very intense for my liking, and I would not like to watch it again, just because even though I know that everything is okay and there's a happy ending, but those animals, oh, my babies, I felt horrible. Now let's just take a minute to talk about the attraction because it is very important within the parks. It's a walkthrough where you just see their house and that's it. There's nothing that happens, and most of the time no one goes in there. Maybe on the busy days, but I am excited to go back to the parks now and take a look through and really appreciate what the film did, and now be able to see how they lived as a fictional family, you know? But at the same time, I don't think I would be sad if this attraction went away. It's very similar to how you have those museum type walkthroughs within the other parks. And they're really important. I'm really grateful that Disney still wants you to learn, and they do show you the behind the scenes. And at the same time, using this film, there really isn't that much you can do because most of the time it is about this family surviving, and this is what they decide and this is how they live. So in that sense, it makes perfect sense for them to have this be the centerpiece advertising what their film's about. But I know in Disneyland that it's Tarzan's treehouse. It makes a lot of sense. I feel like Tarzan really was the inspiration from this film because I did see a lot of similarities from the two of them, and I'm not sure if they really did, but I feel like they are very similar in ways where they probably did pick and choose pieces from Swiss Family Robinson to put into Tarzan. But I would not be offended or sad if they decided to take out the treehouse. I'm grateful it's there. It's really cool, but I think they could do something a little bit different with it. It's a decent film. It deserves to be displayed in a different setting. And I think that spot would be really better used for a legit ride. It's a really cool thing to do, and it's really great for pictures, especially with the low time walking through, but there's always people still behind you. So even then, it's a little bit tricky because if you stop for something, it's hard if there's 20 people walking up these stairs. So I still expect it to be there the next time I get to go down in the parks, and I definitely want to go through it now that I've seen the film and can appreciate it a lot better, and also probably do a photo shoot with it because that's what it is best used for. But I think it could be used in a different way, in a better situation, and instead of getting rid of Swiss Family Robinson, put them a part of something else. Like, even if they did a montage to all of the older films like 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea and Swiss Family Robinson and Davy Crockett, if they did a own little adventure area where they were a lot more creative about how they were used, that would be awesome. You're still keeping the history intact, but you're also giving space for something that is going to be enjoyable for everyone and give you an entire new ride. I'm surprised that it's still there, honestly, compared to the other things that we've lost that I'm bitter about. But it is what it is. It is a good film overall. It's a great film. It's a really great adventure film if you like adventure, and it has a really great story and a moral and a good family bond. But otherwise, it's not my favorite, but we have a lot of films to cover, so not everyone is going to be my favorite. I can still appreciate what it is, and I am glad that it's here. With that, we're going to continue with more tomorrow. We're going to be taking a look at another underrated classic that no one really knows about, The Sword and the Stone. Again, in the parks, only part of it is part of the park, and it is very forgotten, but we're going to discuss that tomorrow. And as always, I hope you have a magical day, and I will see you real soon.